The wife was eager to meet her lover. She forgot to turn off the stove where the soup was simmering. After she left by car with her girlfriends and her lover, a raging fire immediately broke out in the kitchen. The husband immediately rushed out with his mother-in-law and daughter. He found that the door had been deadbolted from the inside by his wife. He called for help. Unexpectedly, his wife believed he had lied about the fire to trick her back home. Then she hung up and ignored him. As a result, her mother and daughter were trapped in the inferno. Both were burned severely and rushed to the emergency room. The doctor told the man that immediate surgery was necessary. He was told to pay the required fees at once. The man was penniless because all his money was with his wife. He frantically kept calling his wife. Meanwhile, his wife was playing mahjong with her girlfriends when she impatiently picked up the phone and heard her husband say he needed $200,000 to save them. She angrily accused him of doing it all for the money. She said he would even lie about his mother and child being hospitalized as an excuse. No matter how he tried to explain, she didn't believe him, so she angrily hung up the call and excitedly continued playing mahjong with her girlfriends, unaware that her mother and daughter were lying on the operating table, waiting for money to live. In desperation, the man took a photo of the hospital payment window and sent it to his wife. On seeing it, his wife immediately grew anxious. She suspected that her mother and daughter had really been harmed. Just as she was about to call her mother to confirm, her girlfriends claimed there were many such hospital photos online, that it was surely fabricated by the man to scam her. The woman believed her girlfriend and hurled vile insults at her husband for being inhuman enough to lie about his mother and daughter. To prove he was telling the truth, he asked a nurse to call his wife and clarify, but who answered was his wife's girlfriend. The girlfriends mocked him for enlisting a nurse to act. They even pressed the phone against the room door, letting him hear his wife intimately with her lover. Watching the moments tick by for the surgery, the man phoned relatives and friends, borrowing money one by one, but the borrowed funds still fell far short. Then he saw a social media post from his wife locating her at a nearby mahjong parlor. He dashed in like a madman. Grabbing her hand, he begged her to produce the money to save them. The wife flung him a bank card. She declared that if he dared use that money, he was willingly giving up all rights to their assets. For the sake of his mother-in-law and daughter, the man agreed at once. The wife, wanting to prove he was lying, decided to go to the hospital with him to expose the charade. At that moment, they ran into his cousin, who had rushed there upon hearing the news. Seeing there was no time left, the man couldn't spare a word for explanation, and dashed in with the card to pay the fees first. The wife seized the moment to play a voice message sent by their daughter before the fire. Hearing their daughter say she was going to sleep, the woman became even more convinced her husband was swindling money before the divorce, that he was deliberately fooling everyone. She called the bank, instructing them to freeze the one life-saving card. This prevented the man from completing the payment. Staring at the bank's freeze notification on his phone, he stormed out and confronted his wife as she was about to drive away. The wife admitted she had just frozen the card, because she firmly believed he was staging the whole thing. She also told him to wait for her divorce papers. The man had intended to bring the nurse as a witness, but his wife paid him no mind. She drove off from the hospital. At that moment, the nurse rushed over and told the man that it was too late, as the critical rescue window had passed.